Hello, welcome to my channel or welcome back. My name is Alyssa and today I have a palette bingo for you, but this is a bingo of shame. So this project is started and run by Andy and DW, and I will link their channels here on YouTube. They are also on Instagram. And they started it with picking palettes that were in their pile of shame, kind of, that they hadn't used yet, and doing palette bingos with them. And now they have more community, people putting in ideas, and there's a random one picked each month. I am probably never going to have any of the palettes that people are putting in there just because I don't have a lot of palettes, but I do love duping and making color stories and doing all of that. So I am totally fine, taking the palettes. And so like what I did this time, it's an Oden's Eye palette. It was definitely one I was never tempted by, even though it's very colorful and I love bright, colorful shades. I have these shades, which was really obvious when it came time to duping them. So I will have that on the screen, but yeah, let's go ahead and just get into this, all right? So the way a palette bingo works, if you don't know, is you do random numbers, to represent the shades. So since there are 10 shades in the palette, then right? 10? Yes. I usually don't use that many different eyeshadows in a look. So they say you can use anywhere from 5 to 10 shades. I just stick with 5. So the 5 shades that I drew, and I'll have that on the screen too, was 3, which was an orangey kind of shimmer, 5, which was a gold shimmer, 1, which I forgot to write down the description that someone shared, but basically it was like a pink base multi-chrome kind of shade. And then 8, an orange matte, and 10, a rose red matte. So let me go ahead and swatch the shades that I picked, and you can see how I did. All right, so these are the eyeshadows that I picked. I understand they're not really in the order that I just talked about them, so let me just kind of point out that this was the shade I picked for number 3, the orange shimmer, and this was what I picked for the gold shimmer. Those are the first 2 that are swatched here on my arm. I swatched those separately just because these are shades from my Simply Posh Cosmetics palette, and those shades get hard pan if I use my finger, so I have to do them specially. And then, like I said, there was also this multi-chrome type of shade, and then an orange matte and the red matte. So let me go ahead and get those on my arm. The first shade here that I'm using with my finger is Palace from Cliona. Then the orange shade is from the Simply Posh palette, so that's the Citrus Punch palette. And then this reddish, pinky-ish side of things shade is from my Juicy Boost palette from Color Drain. So these are the colors I'm working with. I realized that I could just easily do something with like red and orange, like they go together, like doing like, this is the darker, lighter. But I thought it might be fun to do a 2-tone or 2 different eyeshadow look. Oh, you'll see what I mean. So let's do it. Okay, so I decided to use the yellow as an inner corner shade. So let me start with that. I'm calling it yellow. I mean, it's a goldy kind of shimmer. The main thing was when I was trying to pick something, like I saw it was like really like a light gold. And I felt like a lot of mine were just more neutral, or, there's something else I could pick. But yeah, with the multicolored sparkle, I figured like this was, what I have that would be closest. Now, I have been trying to use this tool from, I got it online, but Millie, Bad to the Brow, had talked about using these for eyeshadows, and they have worked well. I thought it would work for these pans that are, getting hard pan, these eyeshadows, but I don't know. It might actually be the same as my finger causing hard pan, so I might not be able to use it for that, unfortunately. But I have been using it for other eyeshadows, and it's been really fun. It's also like really easy to clean off, and then I can just wash it too, but like just if I'm switching between colors. So all right, I've got that on both, And then now I'm going to do on one eye the orange and one the red. I think I'm going to do the orange on this eye. So we're gonna just for fun, yeah, I feel like sometimes with these palette bingos or challenges that, yeah, I could make the look more of my usual wearable type of look, but why not choose fun? I'm also trying to get myself more into doing, you know, something like this and making this feel normal for me. You know, getting out of the comfort zone, that type of idea. But yeah, I was excited in a way, like when I saw this palette picked, because I'm like, oh, there's a lot of, you know, pretty colors. I'm pretty sure, I'm gonna do now the red on this eye. I'm pretty sure that I could dupe whatever I get. Now I could try to dupe the entire palette, but like I said, I was never interested in the palette, so I don't feel the need to do that, to like talk myself out of wanting it or something like that. It was more, and I did this last time too, just duping the shades that I get from the palette, just so I can join in with everybody else. All right, now this shade is definitely not sticking down the best, but I think you can tell it is definitely more of like a pinky red, like when it's getting blended out a little bit out here. It's not, you know, I don't know, it's not the most pigmented red, I guess, which was part of the reason that I picked this, because I have another red from Collab that's a little bit more of a darker red, and I felt like that was not really a rosy red as it was described. Okay, I didn't bother, actually let me put a little more orange over here. Yes, I am wiping off my brush between uses, so, or between colors and all. So we're just having orange here and the red here. All right, now, let's see. I was trying to decide between doing the Palace, the multi-shifting kind of color all over, or this other one. Because the other one might be kind of interesting. I was, I think, going to do Palace, but you know what? I'm going to do the other one. I'm going to do the orange shimmer. And like I said, I'm going to use just a regular brush then, because maybe that's just what I need to do for these so they don't get all the hard pan. Okay. Now I didn't put down a glitter primer, which probably would have helped, but it's still going on pretty well, I think. Now that is really going in with the, like, it looks like it's just the red, but shimmery, which is interesting because remember, this isn't from the same palette. So, you know, they didn't have to coordinate. At least I didn't pull them out of my same palette. But actually, with the orange now, it's also, this is kind of neat. I guess it shows how it's a little bit more toppery like, because it's able to go on both and just kind of bring out, you know, what's special about the matte. You know, like this one goes well with the red, but then it's going well with the orange. Okay. And I'm thinking about putting Palace on the lower lash line, but I'm also kind of just thinking about continuing. Let me go ahead and just continue the mattes down here. Okay, so there's the red. There's the orange. I'm gonna wrap the yellow shimmer, the gold shimmer around a little bit. And then I might layer Palace with it, but yeah, this is what I'm doing for now. I was using that special applicator for the Fairy Tale Fairies palette and I thought it was working, but maybe it works on that one and not this one. I don't know. Maybe I have to make sure I've cleaned it off each time because I guess there's probably some oil that gets on it from my face and then that's kind of what causes the hard pan. So yeah, that might be part of the key is making sure it's washed fully, you know, if I'm about to use it in one of those. Okay. Oh, I don't want to get, I did get some swatches on me, but it's okay. Now I've got to use Palace. So I kind of want to, again, have a little fun with it. If I use this brush, I'm gonna wet it. All right, now I'm gonna go into the shifty shade. I mean, I guess I've got 3 shifty shades here, which I am not complaining about. Because I guess this palette bingo could have gone really poorly and given me just a bunch of mattes, which I mean, you know, I can do, but yeah, it's certainly more fun to have 3 shimmers. All right, so I did that little line there. Kind of thinking about doing it. Oh yeah, this could actually be really cool. All right, let me see. What do I think? Alrighty. Oh, I like that. I like having the bright liner. That's not something I normally do. I thought about putting the lower lash line, but now I think I might just let it be and let that be enough. And yeah. See, it's actually surprisingly wearable for me. Like, you almost can't even tell. I feel like it's like red-orange, like when you look. But if you were just looking quickly, just like, oh, okay, like, you know, she's got a colorful look. And then it's like, oh, no, wait, there's something a little different. So I just keep looking at my mirror over there. Okay, well, I like that. This mirror is getting all dirty that I'm holding. All right. I think I probably should put some mascara on just because I think, like, I could do a dark liner, but then it might interfere with that. So let me see how this looks with mascara. Okay, what do we think? Are you a fan of this look? I think I like it a lot, actually. And it's definitely helping me feel better about doing more, you know, 2 different kinds of eye looks in a way. The yellow for the inner corner, it's like, I can't tell exactly how I feel because on one hand, I feel like it's good. Oh, I just got like, now it's like red from rubbing there. I feel like it looks good. I feel like there's a little bit of shadow from it, but that it's sort of like one of those, oh, you can tell though that it's eyeshadow and not just, you know, the caverns of my face. So that is okay, because I always like to have it lighter there just because I do kind of have shadows there naturally. So if it's like this yellow greenish kind of shadow, then it's like, well, it's obviously eyeshadow, so okay. I really do like Palace as a liner here, and I want to do something like that again for a look. I wonder how it would look if I did like a really dark matte and had that on top. Would that still be good, or is part of it that this is like a medium toned kind of matte? Not sure, because I feel like I like it better on the red side than the orange because it stands out more. So that's why I'm like, would I like it even more over something dark? I don't know. But yeah, I had a lot of fun making this. It was actually pretty simple. So like sometimes I think people feel like doing colorful has to be super, I don't know, time consuming and all of that. But, you know, it doesn't need to be. I didn't really have to do blending because I'm covering things up with shimmer and sparkly things. So yeah, this was, again, my stripes of colors here with what look I made. Whew. Okay. If you like fun makeup, using makeup you already have, maybe you'll subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. Also, you should go check out all the other people who are participating in this palette bingo of shame. So DW, of course, and Andy, because they've started it, but then there's a bunch of other people who are also doing it. If you want to join in, then you can feel free to comment, or, you know, you can comment on mine, you can comment on theirs, you can message them on Instagram, and there's a group then that you can join on Instagram, a little group chat, and, you know, they tell you all about like the new palette. People share swatches and pictures, you know, if they have the palette. So even if you don't, then you can dupe it out like I did. But yeah, it's really nice. And I want to thank you for watching this. Until my next one, I hope you'll be doing well, and I'll see you then. Bye.